What up, guys? We are back. Second episode of the MMA Dynasty. Feels really good to be back.
Feels good, man. Lots of news to talk about, lots of discussions to be had. And yeah, man, Lucas Tracy MMA, Jacob Ross, we're here for our second episode. And yeah, man, let's just get into some of the recent stuff. I mean, let's talk about some of the fights. The main event from last weekend, excellent main event, went longer than I expected. And I don't think that any of us could have seen that knockout coming. I mean, holy shit. That was out of nowhere. What did you make of that Rafael FIziev KO over RDA? I mean, by the way, that's the first time RDA has been finished since he fought Eddie Alvarez. And I think that was 2016, which is a long time ago. I mean, this dude is durable as fuck. And fifth round, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was absolutely unreal. RDA is no joke. Hasn't been knocked out. He hasn't been fully knocked out. He's been sent to the ground in 30 fights since the Jeremy Stevens fight.
Yeah.
But he got finished against Eddie Alvarez, which was a standing TKO. And in the day before that, he fainted from a weight cut. So a lot of people said it was from that. But anyways, like, to put out RDA is no joke whatsoever. And I thought it was very impressive. A lot of people complained about the stoppage being early. And I thought that was a bit ridiculous because
yeah, I mean, he was just gonna get hit with some more follow-up shots.
Exactly.
I thought the stoppage was just fine.
Exactly. And I think yeah, I was just very impressed with the fight overall and FIziev's performance. His takedown defense was spectacular. I know he got taken down twice.
Yeah.
The third round, and I think in the fourth round. The first one, he got taken down, got right back up. Second one, he got body slammed to the ground, but RDA wasn't able to do much with it. So
no, he couldn't do it. I mean, bro, FIziev, he's got really good takedown defense, but you could tell by just looking at the guy, he is a force to be reckoned with. He's a powerful presence in the octagon. He's extremely explosive. And obviously, you're going to have him with his striking. He's very explosive. Well, that's how he is with his ground game. He's not going to fuck with anyone on the ground. He's not going to mess with anyone when it comes to grappling and jiu-jitsu. But when it comes to just getting out of those situations, getting back into his bread and butter, which is his striking, I like what I'm seeing from FIziev. And honestly, as I've said this, we talked the other day about this, and I sort of mentioned it, and a lot of people might disagree, but I know Charles Olivera is, looking like a dominant champion. He is, and in my opinion, he's one of my favorite fighters. Probably the most entertaining fighter pound for pound in the UFC. But, bro, there aren't that many matchups that I would consider bad for Charles Olivera. FIziev is one of those few. Now, I would say, this might be a bit of a stretch, and people might not like this, but I don't give a fuck because we're here for the hot takes anyway. I think, and I'm going to put my foot down right now.
All right, we have it on recording right now.
Yeah, I think that FIziev is a tougher matchup for Charles Oliveira than Islam Makhachev, baby.
Boom.
I'm fucking saying it.
Boom.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you. I agree with you on that because the thing about Charles is his pressure and his ability to get up from being hit hard.
Yeah.
However, we all know Gaethje hits with a ton of power, Poirier, but they are not the striker of FIziev.
Yeah, and also, bro, they don't have the same takedown defense,
Oh.
I know Poirier's got great grappling, he's got great jiu-jitsu, he's a black belt. Justin Gaethje, he's a wrestler, right? He can be taken down, but guys, let's not forget, Justin Gaethje wasn't taken down by Charles Olivera. He was knocked down. He was knocked on his ass. The only reason he was submitted is because he was knocked on his ass. Now, Charles Olivera is a deadly striker. He's a great striker. Is he on the same level as FIziev? No. Is he the best wrestler? No. He usually doesn't find his grappling exchanges. He usually doesn't find a submission unless he's able to hurt someone on the feet first, at least gas them out badly, tire them out, wear them out with knees to the body. But Charles Olivera, he initiates a lot of his grappling exchanges with his striking, and I don't know if it's going to be as doable against a guy like FIziev, who has that explosive Muay Thai style, who's able to keep guys off of him. He's extremely explosive when it comes to the grappling. And, I don't know, is Charles Olivera that much better of a wrestler than RDA? No, I'm not saying that Charles Olivera can't, stand with FIziev. RDA could stand with FIziev for 5 rounds. Was he winning the fight? No, I didn't have him winning. I had FIziev up, 3 rounds to 1 up until the 5th round. However, Charles Olivera, in my opinion, is a much more dangerous striker, a better striker, and a heavier pressure striker than RDA. Could he hurt FIziev? Yeah, I just would favor FIziev in the striking. And I think it's a tough matchup for Charles, man. I really do. There aren't that many tough matchups for Charles out there, in my opinion. I really think FIziev is a really bad matchup for him.
I totally agree with you. I think one of the, like we talked about the other day, at some point, Charles Olivera is going to get finished.
Yeah.
He is. As good of a striker as he is, you don't see much head movement. He's pretty hittable overall. And at some point, he's going to get his lights taken off. He's going to get
his lights punched out.
However they say it. And I think FIziev for sure could be that guy, because in that division, like we said, he could stand with anybody. And Charles Olivera, as great as he is on the ground, he's not known for his like his ability to take people down, more the ability of his jiu-jitsu when it gets to the ground.
Yeah, but again, he does have a great ability to tangle guys up on the feet. Remember, he submitted Poirier just by taking his back on the feet. But the thing is, I don't think Poirier is as good of a striker as FIziev. I know Poirier is an excellent striker, but I just don't. One of the reasons why Poirier got a little bit gassed out by Olivera is because of all those knees to the body. And are you going to be able to fuck with FIziev in the clinch? I mean, FIziev's so good at Muay Thai. I know that Olivera is great Muay Thai. I just don't see him.
FIziev though.
Yeah.
FIziev
honestly, if they were to fight next, I'm not going to bet against Charles. I'd bet on Charles to win that fight. I'd favor Charles to win that fight. However, I'm just saying, bro, it would be so difficult for him to win. I can't bet against Charles, bro. Charles is going to find a way to beat everyone. In my opinion, there are a few guys that could beat him. But I think there's the three main ones that have a chance. I'm not going to sit here and say Islam doesn't have a chance. He's a beast, but he's coming off of win of Bobby Green. I mean,
we don't know. We don't know.
Other big news though, pound for pound rankings, new pound for pound rankings came out. What do you make of them? A couple different changes.
Let me actually pull that up right now. Yeah. From first look of it,
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up too.
I was not too happy with it, and we will go into detail on it in 1 second.
Yeah. One thing about the pound for pound rankings, I'm definitely not upset when it comes to the top 5. Top 5. Listen, okay, so here we have it. We have Kamaru Usman in number 1, Alexander Volkanovski number 2. I think those are clear 1 and 2. Adesanya is a clear 3, without a doubt.
Definitely.
And then we have Charles Olivera over Ngannou. I would agree.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Ngannou, I like the top 5. However, after that, it's a big fucking jumbled mess, and I disagree with it, man. What do you think?
So first of all, like you said, top 5, very good. However, Poirier at 6, after losing 2 title fights, coming off a loss against Charles Olivera, is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling at 7. I don't have a huge problem with that. He's the champ. He just beat Peter Yan, who's an assassin. Max Holloway at 8, in my opinion, is ridiculous over guys like Stipe, even Yuri, Figueiredo.
Mm-hmm.
Even like I would honestly probably take Peter. I would probably say Peter Yan deserves to be above Holloway. But and then we got Yuri at 9, who we like there. Figueiredo at 10, that seems about right. Jon Jones, who hasn't fought in years, at 11. It's Jon Jones, so I don't have a huge problem with that. Stipe at 12, like Stipe should for sure be in the top 10 in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand that. Like, Stipe is the one that really fucking. First of all, there's 2 things that are wrong with this list for different reasons. Number 1, Stipe, he's coming off of 1 loss. Before that 1 loss,
he's considered the heavyweight GOAT.
The heavyweight GOAT, and bro, he was on a tear up until he fought Francis Ngannou the second time. Defended his belt 3 times. took a L to DC, but then beat DC 2 times in a row when DC was the big guy at the top of the pound for pound rankings. Beat him twice, and then he loses one fight, and all of a sudden he's 12. How the fuck does that make any sense? It doesn't make sense. If anything, Stipe should be higher than Holloway.
And
I mean, well, here's the thing. Activity plays a part. So Holloway, since losing his belt, has beat up everyone he's faced. But the other thing that gets me is Jon Jones at 11. Why even if you either have him on the list in a decent spot or you just get him out of there? Like, I don't want to see Jon Jones. And if he is on the list, you fucking may as well put him up there near the top, because he's only lost one fight since. It's a win on paper. It's against Dominic Reyes. I thought he lost, but bro, before that, he's arguably, top 1 or 2 goats, greatest of all time. Like, I feel like Jones, if he's going to be on the list, should at least be higher than Ngannou, should at least be higher than Olivera. I know he's inactive, but why the fuck is he on the list anyway if he's going to be so low?
I think the consistency on the list is a bit strange, because there's a guy like Stipe who's at 12, like he's probably at 12 because the inconsistent without like fighting much. However, Poirier hasn't fought since November, December. And then Jon Jones, who hasn't fought in years, is still on the list and 11. Like, I just think the consistency, and Peter Yan, who was literally a champion, coming off a very close fight to Aljo at 13. I don't understand why guys like Peter Yan, I mean, especially Stipe, are behind guys like Poirier and Holloway. I don't understand that. That's my biggest problem with the list.
I know, man. I know. I mean, bro, I like think about Poirier. Since losing to Khabib, he had the Dan Hooker fight after Khabib. So he's done pretty well. He fucked up Dan Hooker. He put a beating on Dan Hooker, and then he beat Conor twice. So he's done well, but then he fought, Olivera, and got smoked by Olivera.
He hasn't fought since. And that was probably like 8 months ago.
That's a long time ago. Yeah, he shouldn't be on that list, in my opinion, bro. That's not what I'm saying. I think he should be lower on the list. That's the thing with the pound for pound. It's always going to be kind of fucked up, bro. Like, the pound for pound doesn't really make much sense, in my opinion. The only part that makes sense is like usually the top 3 or 4, but other than that, it doesn't. And by the way, I'm going to just say this. I think that Volkanovski, honestly, like, okay, first of all, let me ask you this. Pound for pound for me is not skill for skill. The idea of pound for pound originally was like, who is the best fighter regardless of weight class? I don't see that that's the case at all, because you could never have a heavyweight or a middleweight or a light heavyweight at the top of the pound for pound in that case, because the guys that are the most skilled, I'm talking the most agile, the most technical, are usually in the lower weight classes. So I think pound for pound should be a combination of a few things. Number one, it's, what have you done? What are your accolades? Champions? What have you won belts? Number two, like, how deep is your resume? How many tough guys have you beat? I think that it should be about that. But skill for skill, I got to say, it's always going to be the lighter guys,
Lighter guys. Yeah, I think with that also, with the UFC and the lighter guys being more skilled, and the thing is, UFC guys who are generally like between like 5'4" and 5'7", there's not many sports that they can play
other than martial arts, like wrestling and stuff like that.
Guys who are over 5'11", there's more sports they can play and succeed in.
Yeah.
So that just means that the guys who are lighter, they're going to be more into UFC and more into martial arts, which will lead to more competition.
Yep.
And then the heavier weight classes, a lot of those guys who are that size are playing football, they're playing basketball, playing all kinds of sports.
Right.
So I think you are right. The guys who are smaller are always going to be more technical. They're going to be more skilled. They're going to be quicker. So like, I think the pound for pound list is about, like you said, the accolades, the fighting recently, like how recent was your last fight? Was it a win? Was it a loss? Stuff like that. Like, do you have a belt? I think all those things should be factors, but on this list, it doesn't. It's just there's just tons of inconsistency on it, and yeah. So. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some news that we've got. So UFC 276 only sold 400K pay-per-view buys, which in my opinion is pathetic given that it was, the most stacked card of the year. It was set up in a way where it was, guaranteed to sell a lot. You had some shit talk on there as well, some drama, you had the drama, the built-in drama from the trilogy. You had O'Malley on it. You had a lot of different guys bringing attention to that card, and it only sold 400K pay-per-view. So what I'm here to say is this: are the pay-per-views going down, because people are just losing interest, or are the pay-per-views also going down because more people are streaming? I think it could be a combination of both.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, because completely different. But Jake Paul, really well-known name, only sold apparently like 60K pay-per-view buys against Tyron Woodley the second fight.
Yeah,
and we all know it was definitely.
I streamed it. I streamed it, bro.
Well, we all know it was a lot more than that. So I think that is the case in the UFC. However, I think guys like Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Jon Jones not fighting for a while is also a huge factor, because everyone in the UFC, when a Conor McGregor fight happens, they buy the card or stream it. Doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah.
They buy the card or stream the card from fights. They watch the main card, and then they watch the Conor McGregor fight, and they're like, oh wow, the UFC is real good. Maybe we'll check it out next card. Then that continues, whatever. They watch a bit, then they're like, okay, like we'll wait till the next McGregor fight again. So I think the UFC has lost a bit of steam as of late. And I think we really need a guy like Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, Jon Jones, maybe another George Masvidal fight to happen so that the UFC can get the steam back.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's a combination of a few things, but one of them being like, bro, the stars that we do have, there are just, holes in their fucking game, in their media game too. Adesanya is, the star that's being pushed on us, that the promotion is pushing a lot. But here's the thing. It's like, you got boring fights, regardless of whether or not you respect them, regardless of whether or not he's fucking one of the best in the world and he just wins every time. So, he's incredible. His fights are boring. They put people to sleep, and we are tired of it. And I don't want to hear anymore anyone saying, dude, he had one boring fight, now you're mad. Like, who, bro?
6 in a row.
He's had fucking boring fights throughout his whole career. He's always had slow fights. The only difference now versus back then is that we're so fucking used to it. Back then we were like, oh, the technique, he's so good. He's elusive. So what if it was a decision? But now we're like, bro, we've seen it all. Like, bro, we get it. We know Adesanya like the back of our hand at this point, and we're fucking tired of it because he's a decision merchant. That's it. And you know what? I'm going to say this as a man. I respect Israel Adesanya. If Israel Adesanya ever sees this, bro, I respect you. If I was you, I would have even more boring fights. I would go in the cage. I wouldn't throw any strikes at all. I would only throw strikes. I would edge out the rounds by one leg kick, bro, just so I can go out of the ring with twice as much money. But as a fan, bro, it's no mystery why we are tired of this bullshit. Is because it puts people to sleep. The Whitaker fight, kind of slow.
I thought it was boring. I thought it was boring personally.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of slow. The first round was cool because he dropped Whitaker, but like after that, I thought it was interesting because Whitaker, in my opinion, I still think he won that fight. However, it was a slow fight. The Vettori fight, basically the same thing as the Cannonier fight. The Vettori rematch put me to sleep, like literally. And then the Jan fight, the only reason that was interesting is because Jan beat Izzy, and we were all like, holy shit, he's actually winning. First time Izzy ever lost in MMA. And then, before that, we had the Costa fight, but before that, we had the Romero fight. And the Romero fight is
that may have been the worst fight ever. Besides
for men, 100%, that's got to be even worse than Ngannou and Lewis, because it was 5 rounds.
I thought you were gonna mention
the women's fight. Yeah, dude, that was the worst fight. Don't even mention it. Yeah,
we didn't even give them the attention.
But yeah, bro, I think like the stars, we're lacking stars. Even Jon Jones, even when he was still competing regularly, he wasn't selling that much. But I feel like if he comes back now, because everyone knows who Jon Jones is, it's going to be a huge fight moving up to heavyweight. I want to see him and Stipe fight. Like, just fucking make it happen. UFC.
That's the fight to make. That's the fight to make. Because the thing about Jon Jones, towards that, in the beginning of his career, everyone was fascinated. They're like, this guy's the next, like, one of the is going to be an all-time great. However, when you keep winning, people don't care to tune in because they just know the outcome. But with Jones going to heavyweight, one, he hasn't fought in years, so they'll tune in anyway. The second thing is they think that there's a chance he could lose.
Yeah.
Especially against a guy like Francis Ngannou and Stipe, who have established himself as heavyweight goats in Stipe's case and one of the goats in Francis's case. So I think that would sell a ton of pay-per-views. And I think the Stipe one right now makes sense since Francis has just got surgery. He got surgery and he's still recovering from his knee injury. However, the thing is, they are saying that Francis will be back in December. And I think that's part of the reasons why the fight hasn't been booked yet, because there's an argument that could be made that if you're Jones, why don't you just wait till December? That's only like 5 months away.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm Jones, man, and I know that I can go in there and beat Stipe, who's the heavyweight GOAT, and, you know, this, first of all, I know Stipe's older, but at the same time, getting a win over Stipe as Jon Jones is very impressive. I don't see anyone saying
one of his best wins. It would be one of his best wins ever.
Yeah, easily. It would easily be one of his best wins ever.
I mean, maybe his best, especially going up at the division.
Potentially.
Yeah.
You know, especially if he's doing it natty, or because, you know, when he beat DC, I think he would have been natty or not, but like, you know, we know he's fucking sauced when he beat DC the second time, especially. First fight was close, but yeah, man, I think Jones should fucking steer clear of that Ngannou fight. I think if I was Jon Jones, I'd take Stipe because that's a more winnable fight. I think.
You think
of all,
so? You think?
I think that Stipe beats Jon Jones. I could see it. It's close. It's a close fight. I pick Stipe. I've gone on record. I've broke it down. I've made a whole 10-minute video about it on my old channel. I think he fucking beats Jon Jones. However,
how would he beat him though?
So here's the thing. First of all, Stipe is a natural heavyweight, and this is one of my main arguments. Stipe is a natural heavyweight. Okay, he's not cutting down. He's just chilling as a heavyweight. Jon Jones just took the last 2.5 years off to bulk himself up. And not only to bulk himself up, but to readjust to being bigger. Stipe doesn't have to readjust. Stipe doesn't have to spend years getting used to being big and getting used to knowing what it's like to train and knock ass out as a bigger man. Stipe is just fucking, you know, a natural big dude. He's a natural 235. Jon Jones at 235 is bloated after a fight camp. Okay, Jon Jones has done everything that it took to bulk up. And as I know, the bigger you get, the more muscle you're putting onto your body. If you're not used to carrying it around, especially when you're already in your 30s and you haven't been that way naturally, you haven't looked like that throughout your whole life, you know, and now you're trying to do it natty. You were on the sauce back in the day. That's just going to make you more stiff. It's going to make you, you know, it's going to make you a little less technical, in my opinion. And that's one of the reasons. The other is Jon Jones couldn't take down Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes is by no means like the biggest light heavyweight. He's not a natural heavyweight either. Jon Jones couldn't take him down. Jon Jones is getting pieced up by Dominic Reyes. It's kind of like when Izzy moved up to fight Jan Blachowicz. You saw what happened. It was a little more even. Jon Jones, when he faces guys that are similar size, he doesn't do as well. Now, he beat the shit out of Gustafsson the second time. I'll give him that. But Stipe is different than fucking Gustafsson. The reason why Jon Jones ran through Gustafsson the second time is because Gus was out of it. I mean, dude, he got fucking submitted by Fabricio Verdum, who was way past his prime after that. Stipe is a different animal. Stipe is not some guy who's going to take this training camp lightly. I just think that Stipe is going to be too big for him. I don't think he's going to let Jon Jones bully him around. I think Stipe gets up in there, and if he doesn't take 100 eye pokes before that, I think he wins. But bro, this is just what I'm going to say. Stipe, like, he's taken years off because of the eye pokes from DC in their past fights. Like, I could see Jon Jones, oops, one eye poke. It's a warning, but I just, basically, he's fucked up, and now I can beat him up while he can't see. I could see that happening. But I'm picking Stipe to win that fight, bro. But it could be close. However, when it comes to Ngannou, I don't see Jon Jones beating Ngannou. I don't give him a chance, really. I think that Ngannou knocks him clean out, bro.
Damn. I see it differently. I see the Stipe fight being the harder fight, and I see the Ngannou fight being the easier fight.
Okay.
The reason for that is because Stipe is the better wrestler than Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
He is. Ngannou had the good wrestling against Gane, but in the past he hasn't shown too much.
But his wrestling defense, though, remember, Stipe shot for his life in that second fight with Ngannou and just easily got stuffed. And Ngannou actually turned it into his own takedown too.
Yes, but however, Jon Jones is definitely the better wrestler than Stipe. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it would be too difficult. I think Jones would be too quick for Ngannou. Yeah. And I think he would get him down quite easily. And then I think he would probably tire him out and then probably win by decision. However, Stipe, since they are more similar in height, similar in weight and height. I mean, they're all similar in height, but similar in weight. I think that's the harder fight since Stipe is a little quicker. He's a good wrestler. He's the heavyweight GOAT. However, I would still favor Jones, as I just can't pick against Jones until he loses. Truly loses.
But bro, he fucking lost his last fight. And dude, he lost easily 1, 2, 3 rounds of that fight. And that's the other thing that I'm riding on is Jon Jones lost against Dominic Reyes. I will take that to my grave. I think if you watch that fight tonight, if you watch that fight, or in general, if you watch it, just round 1, round 2, round 3, it's just, he lost that fight, bro. And I just don't know if he can fucking beat these bigger guys, dude. He was getting pieced up by Dominic Reyes. He's got T-Rex arms.
I think that was also could have just been one bad fight.
Could have been a bad fight. You're right.
But I just think that if I'm Jones, honestly, at this point, I would probably just hold off till Francis, as I think Stipe is the more dangerous opponent for him for sure. Mm-hmm. But however, if Francis and the UFC are still as they still haven't signed the deal, right?
I don't know.
So if
wait, you mean a fight deal, like a contract?
Nah. Or does he
bro, honestly, that's the thing, dude. I don't know, bro. Francis is fucking I think he's just chilling, bro. That's the issue. That's why it pisses me off, bro. I like Volk. This is why I like Volk, because he doesn't just chill, dude. He's always on to the next one.
He always wants to fight. So the thing is, I think it depends how long until Francis returns. And if it's not till January, February, March, then I think you should take the Stipe fight. And I think in that case, they would make the Stipe fight for the interim title.
Right.
Which would make complete sense. Or even maybe strip Francis. Who knows? He's literally had a year off between these first two, is the fight against Stipe, the Cyril Gane fight. And he's going to have another year off. I know it's an injury, but another year until his next fight at least. So I think the UFC could look to stripping him, but I think either way, if Jones and Stipe did fight, it would be for the interim title. So, but if it's Francis, if France is gonna be back by December, I say wait. But if he's not, then fight Stipe. So
yeah, I think so. I think so as well. Bro, honestly, I just hope that they do it soon, because I've been waiting on Jon Jones to come back. Hell, I've been waiting for Stipe to come back too, man. And fuck, I've been waiting for Francis to come back, bro. These heavyweights. What the fuck are they doing, man?
They're all scared of each other.
I know. That's, respect to guys like Curtis Blades and Tom Aspinall. I can't wait for that London card. I mean, we'll talk about that next week. But let's get into some other news. So, Khamzat called out Alex Pereira. And I think, in my opinion, bro, here's what I'm gonna say about Pereira, and I've heard guys say this before recently as well, dude. Pereira, as I've said, he's the kind of guy who could fucking go in there and dethrone Izzy and win the belt off Izzy, and then get smoked by a bunch of other middleweights with some decent grappling, because he doesn't have the same takedown defense. He doesn't have the same experience when it comes to grappling as Izzy. And dude, I think Whitaker would fucking beat him. I think Khamzat would beat this dude
for sure.
That's how crazy it is, because I think it's a good fight for Khamzat, but I want to see Khamzat stick to welterweight for now.
Yeah, I think Chimaev is kind of just calling out everyone. He's just bored and just trying to get some attention. So I wouldn't really think too much. I'm not thinking too much into it, but I think also he could be like, I think it's a smart move too, because it's clear that Pereira is the guy who's going to be getting the title shot. And if Chimaev calling him out almost sets up a number one contender match. And then he would get, and if he won, he would fight Izzy, so he'd get a chance at the title. So I think he is doing it for attention, but I think he also would love that fight too.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
I would say also, I think I like him as a middleweight, but I think, like, as you know, guys get bigger as they get older. So I think for Chimaev, the best thing to do right now is to at least get the title at welterweight, and then if you want to move up then, and not become a welterweight now, then go back. No, become a middleweight now, go back to welterweight. Like, you're not gonna be able to switch back and forth.
Yeah, it'll just take longer for him to get the title too.
As we saw with Conor, he got the title at featherweight, never fought featherweight again. Yeah. So I think the smart move. Also, people were saying like that Chimaev could be the first three belt champ ever. And I think, and in that case, you wouldn't be able to like be defending them all, especially not welterweight, because so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And bro, the only guy I want to see move up is Volk. That's it. Because Volk, or you know what? Fuck that. I want to see Usman move up, but I also want to see Chimaev fight Usman. But I don't like that fucking, I get it, dude. They don't want to fight each other because they're both African, but like, bro,
come on. It's not like they're like best friends. Like, yeah, like I don't like that.
They're not even that tight, bro. They probably see each other like 3 times a year at the UFC events, bro.
Maybe that'd be the only fight. That may be the only fight that Izzy can actually sell now. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, think about it. Like Pereira, I know that's like way more intriguing than Jared Cannonier, Vettori, maybe even more intriguing than the Whitaker rematch. But like,
that may just be for us though, like.
Yeah, I think like not many fucking casual fans even know that Pereira like knocked Izzy out, bro. But I think they need to make that clear. I think the UFC, I know they want to promote Izzy, but if they really want to sell, they got to start playing that clip of Izzy getting knocked out. Otherwise, dude, they're gonna get another 400K or even less.
No, I think less.
Usman and Adesanya would be a huge fight. I think that could sell like at least 800K, but it ain't gonna fucking happen. Unfortunately,
no. It sucks. Yeah, that's for sure the fight to make. I think like Usman was talking about going up to 205. I think he's too small for 205. I think anybody in the top 5, top 10 would destroy him.
I think guys in the top fucking 25 would destroy him back. Yeah, he's too small, man.
Natural 200.
Yeah, he could do middleweight, but like, dude, no.
Heavyweight, way too small, way too short. I don't like him in that division. If anything, middleweight division, as we know, Usman is one of the bigger 170s, so that 185 he'd probably honestly be better at,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I would definitely rather see him fight Chimaev or Izzy, one of those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
But we said the Izzy fight will definitely not happen. I actually think that after the Leon fight, there's a real chance Usman retires. I think that may be a possibility. I think he was a very active champion until his hand injury.
Yeah,
he's getting older in age. His knees are really bad. He's got a daughter. He was talking about not seeing her too much. Like, I think that there's a chance that he fights Leon, beats Leon, and retires. I really think that's a possibility. And also just to avoid Chimaev. And I don't think people could really like say anything bad about that too, especially if it's happening before Chimaev even fights for the number one contender match.
Yeah,
I think that's a factor also, because if Chimaev fought for the number one contender match, Usman had like a few weeks before, months before Usman fights for fights
Leon,
and then they both win, and then Usman retires, they could say that he's just wants to duck Chimaev. But we don't even know when Chimaev's going to fight next. So I think that there's a real possibility that Usman wins the Leon fight and then just calls it quits. Because I mean, at that point, he would have had to defend the belt 6 times. I think his next win would tie Anderson Silva's record of consecutive wins in the UFC. Could be ahead of it. I don't know exactly, but I think that's a real possibility. So
yeah, I think so too, man. I think I wouldn't put it past him, like 6 title defenses if he beats Leon Edwards. So I think, if I was Usman, he might stick around for one more fight. Maybe he wants to prove something and that he can beat Chimaev. I don't see Usman fighting more than 2 more times.
That's so risky. Like, if
it is risky, but then again, bro, like after the Burns fight, I guarantee you Usman likes his chances more. Like if Chimaev, runs through if he ran through Gilbert Burns, I don't think Usman would even doubt that he was going to retire. He would definitely retire. So I think he likes it a little more now. However, we'll see. I think it's likely that he sticks around for one more. However, bro, I wouldn't put it past him to retire. But let's talk about this upcoming fight night, the main event, and then we'll get into some other news. So yeah, Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, I'll be going to the event. I can't wait. UFC Long Island. It's in the daytime as well. So that means perfect. That means I'm going to be fucking, going there early in the morning. Who knows if I'll drink? It'll be early. I don't know. I'm not really big into day drinking, but I can't wait. And I know it's going to be a war. I'm picking, I don't know, man. I don't even have an official prediction yet. What do you think?
I think Yair wins.
You think Yair?
As you know, Yair just lost to Holloway. However, he took 2 years off, I think. Before that, he was the clear, like he was the top, he was like a consistent, like top 3, top 5 contender.
Yeah.
For some time. And yeah. I think, and I'm honestly, after taking 2 years off, I was impressed with how he performed against Holloway, who is the second best in that division behind Volk. And not many people, and Holloway honestly struggled with him. He won the fight, but I would say it was probably 3 rounds to 2, with Yair winning the early rounds.
Yeah.
If I can remember correctly. And I think Ortega, I think Ortega's a really good fighter, and I know his only 2 losses were championship fights. I've never really understood the hype as much as the UFC and like everyone else understood. So I think I believe it's going to be Yair by decision. I think it's going to stay on the feet, and I'm taking Yair on the feet over Ortega.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like Ortega, I've got the same kind of idea throughout the years. Like, listen, the reason why he's so dangerous is because of how quickly he can latch up submissions. Like even against Volk, I know Volk got out of them. Most people wouldn't have gotten out of those submissions. Volk may be the only dude that could get out of those submissions. And the thing that makes Ortega so dangerous is, all he needs is 2 seconds. He needs 2 seconds to latch you up and finish the fight. So can he get that? But here's the thing. He doesn't have the best wrestling. He doesn't have the best wrestling. And in general, bro, dude, he doesn't shoot. Like, he doesn't fucking shoot. And I don't like that. So if I haven't seen him shoot, if I haven't seen much of his wrestling, I know he likes to latch on to submissions, with his striking as well. But I think that's a good point, man. I could see Yair outstrike him. I know Ortega is dangerous. He's durable. I think that he's going to make it a war, but I could just see Yair outstriking him. However, dude, if it gets nasty and these guys go to war and it's the 3rd, 4th round, bro, you never know. When you're tired, you make mistakes, and one mistake.
You don't want to make a mistake with
Ortega. And I don't think Yair has the best finishing ability. No. I give him a higher chance to finish this fight to the body with body shots versus head shots. I know he's good with the kicks, but he doesn't really, he doesn't have much power. No. And yeah. So, to play devil's advocate, bro, I think I'm going to go with Ortega, because I think this is going to be a nasty fight. And I think one of them is, both of them are going to be tired. And I just see in 25 minutes, I think there's going to be an opportunity that Ortega finds. And I don't think Yair is going to finish him. So it's either it goes to decision and Yair wins, but I think that he's going to make a mistake eventually. And I think Ortega will be able to capitalize. I'm going to pick Ortega. So we'll see who wins, bro. If I won't be surprised if Yair wins, but I'm predicting.
I think it's going to be a close fight.
It'll be close.
This will be a close fight.
Yeah, I'm predicting a 4th round submission, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My question is though, what if Ortega does win?
Yeah.
What do you do with him? That's the question.
Yeah, if he does win, let's look at I need to look at the rankings. So let's look at the rankings. Let me pull. I got them right here. So Ortega is the number 2 ranked contender. So if he wins, honestly, you could do the Holloway rematch. I kind of like that. I don't think Holloway ain't getting a title shot anytime soon. Ortega's going to be, still the number 2 guy. I don't know if he'll move above Holloway. You either do Emmett or you do Holloway, but I think that the Holloway rematch, I think you could make that a big fight night because, bro, again, if Holloway beats Ortega, he ain't getting a title shot. But it doesn't matter because it's Holloway, whoever
he's not going to get a title shot. He knows he's not going to get a title shot.
But that's the thing. It's like if whoever he fights, he's not going to get a title shot. So it's not like Holloway has to find a different guy.
Yeah,
he's got to fight a guy in the top 3 because it's Holloway, or at least the top 5. And Ortega,
I like that actually. Yeah. I really now that you're talking about it, I really like that, and especially since Ortega did fight Volk more recently. Yeah. So like the UFC would rather not
rid of one of them, bro.
Would definitely rather not want him to fight Volk again, at least soon. So yeah, I actually do like that. I do like that, and I say
because if they fight other people and they both win, it's like now 2 guys that just lost to Volk are right back there. Yeah. I'd rather have one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and I think I would probably favor Ortega over Josh Emmett.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually do. I really do like that. That probably makes a lot of sense. And you give, what do? You give Emmett the title shot if Volk wants to stay in the division,
dude. I don't think. I mean, like personally, bro, I don't think Emmett deserves the title shot. I just don't think I don't even think he won his last fight. I thought Kattar won, and before that, Emmett fought Dan Ige, I believe. I think, dude, I think Emmett has lost his last 2 fights. And I think the fans, most people think that too. I definitely think he lost to Kattar, and I think he lost to Ige. So I don't want to see Emmett get the title shot just because I know he's short, he's powerful, but
nobody cares about him.
Nobody cares about him. And also people don't even think he won his last fights. Like you want to not sell pay-per-views, put a guy in there who nobody thinks won their last few fights anyway. Terrible
also,
idea.
The thing about Josh Emmett,
dude, he's on life support, bro. This guy should stop. He should retire anyway.
He also isn't going to bring good, he's not going to be good in the press conferences. No. He's not going to he's not a well-known name. I think also the other thing is that the UFC clearly doesn't seem to want to book him. I don't know if you saw, but for the UFC 276, before the fight, he was expecting to be front row for the Holloway Volk match, and apparently the UFC sat him way behind all the fighters, and
that's just a sign that they don't want him to. I don't blame them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that they know that that he's likely would have to win another fight to even be thought of as getting a title match. But I think if Yair wins, I think Yair would get the title shot if he won, though.
Yeah,
if Holloway wants to stay
so. Because other than that, who's going to get it?
Fight? Yeah, exactly.
Calvin Kattar. I think Calvin Kattar won his last fight, and it sucks that he took the L on paper, but it's Yair and really no one else. I mean, Arnold Allen doesn't have a fight.
Arnold Allen. Why don't they set up Arnold Allen versus Emmett, the Arnold Allen against the winner or something?
I mean, bro, Arnold Allen
9-fight win streak also.
Yeah, man, but he just doesn't fight, dude. That's the thing. Some fighters, I don't know why, but some guys just don't fight more than once every year and a half.
You can't expect to get these title shots by doing that,
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's Arnold Allen, if he were to stay more active, let's say he were to win Another fight, I think he's already in a number one ranked contender fight, but why wait so long? You're young, like just get in there, man.
And I think he'd be one of the toughest. I mean, if there's a tough matchup for Volk, I think that would be it, honestly, you know. But they already told Yair that if he wins, he's getting the title shot. So if Yair wins, he's gonna get the title shot. So it's just a matter of what if Ortega wins. And I think that the Max fight would make a lot of sense at this point, as they don't really want either of them to get a title shot, and they probably think that Max still wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think? Like, how do you feel going to is this your first UFC event? Like, how do you feel going into it?
I don't know what to expect, man. I really don't. You know, I've been to lots of different events, bro. But I've never, I've been to basketball games, baseball games, football games, but I've never, not once in my life, gone to an MMA fight. So I really don't know what to expect. I think it's going to be surreal because, even when you go to a Yankee game, because I'm from New York, going to it, you're like, this is not that great. But then you get in the stadium and it's pretty crazy. It's massive. It's big. It's grand. That's how I expect to feel when I get into the stadium and see people throwing down, fighting each other. And then, I see it's going to be fucking awesome because I've seen a lot of these guys on TV and like seeing them in person. That's the thing that I remember from baseball games. Like seeing these guys in person is just a little different.
And you're in the same room as them.
The thing is, bro, I'm actually sitting a little higher up in the stands because I've heard that cage can obstruct your view. However, I am going to go early. I'm going to get to my seat just to see what it's like. And then I'm going to start fucking walking around, seeing if I can run into any of the fighters. Cause I guarantee you, there are going to be guys in that area. I'm going to get some pictures with them, post up on the gram. It'll be sick. And hopefully, a few people notice me from my TikToks. Hopefully no one fucking kicks my ass because I have put out some pretty hot takes. Or I hope that I don't run into a fighter that's like, hey buddy, that would suck. But you know what? That'd be cool. It'd be a story to tell.
Yeah, it's something we could talk about next Monday.
Yeah. And if I get slapped, bro, I'll make sure if I sense that someone in the area is gonna come up to me to slap me, I'm gonna get my phone out just so I can post it on TikTok after to get some views.
Love it. I was actually going to go to UFC 268 Covington against Usman too.
Yeah.
And I end up just not going as the tickets were.
I wanted to go to that as well, but the tickets were fucking crazy.
And I honestly, at that point, like I would, like if you're gonna pay that much, like I would honestly rather just watch it at home.
Yeah.
I was also gonna go to. I wanted to also go to because I couldn't go to that. I wanted to go to Gaethje versus Chandler, Gaethje versus Olivera in Phoenix as I go to school in Arizona. But those tickets were even more. So yeah. I'm just hoping to go to UFC events sometime soon, and just see it's about. So,
yeah. Hey man, maybe if Connor fights, then that won't be for a while. Maybe we can go to that. That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. That would be
maybe who knows, man? Maybe we could go to a fight in Vegas sometime, or Florida.
Be backstage. Who knows?
Yeah,
like we said, we want to be the number one MMA podcast, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd love it, man. Who knows? Maybe. I'm gonna just try. I'm gonna just try to get one of these dudes in on a TikTok for the MMA.
Get them on the pod. Try to get them.
I'll try it, bro. I'm gonna be walking around the area. Maybe I'll have a couple drinks because why not? And I am prepping for a bodybuilding show, but a couple of shots doesn't do it. Ain't gonna fuck with my prep anyway. So it is what it is. I can't wait to go to this event. Like the closer I get, now that you're reminding me, I'm like, oh shit, I actually am finally going to an event like that. I've been watching this for so long, so I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes. I wanted to go over some more news. We're gonna talk about again Jake Paul, as everyone I'm sure knows about him. He gets the views, so gotta just mention him. He has a new opponent.
So this guy, what's his name?
Khamzat Rahman Jr. or something.
Yeah, I looked this dude up on YouTube and I saw a fight of his, and he's a boxer, but then I saw that he's actually kind of old and he looked a little sloppy, bro. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's a boxer it's better that Jake Paul fight this guy than Tommy Fury, because Tommy Fury, in my opinion,
He's not a boxer.
probably would have knocked out or at least beat up Jake Paul.
You think he would have beat Jake Paul?
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen Tommy Fury's highlights, and just because of the Jake Paul fight. And bro, I think Tommy Fury would take that fight like handily. I don't, maybe it would knock him out, but here's the thing. I think if they had a legitimate like 10 rounder or 8 rounder, I think Tommy Fury beats Jake Paul. But this guy Hasim, I think Jake Paul is gonna knock him out.
You think he's gonna knock him out? Yeah. Also, the guy.
I think Fury is much better than this guy. From what I've seen, bro, Fury has crisp, very good technique. He's got a great right hand, but like this Hasim dude keeps his hands low. He's wild. He's all over the place. Like, I don't know, man. He's tough, which is good.
He's also heavyweight. He also is fought
how much is he gonna weigh? How much are they?
So Hasim's last fight was 3 months ago, where he got knocked out in heavyweight and he weighed 224.
Okay.
So this fight, I think the limit is 200. So he's gonna have to cut 24 pounds. And they notified him about the fight last week. So a month of notice. He's gonna have to cut probably maybe more than 24. Who knows how big he is normally?
MMA fighters do that kind of cut all the time. So I think it's possible, but like again, that just sounds like some way to set him up into
after getting knocked out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
In UFC, as you have to wait at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Fight again after getting knocked out. So
I think all signs point to another Jake Paul.
All signs point to Jake Paul winning. And I guess shocking the world, but
I want it. Well, I'm not. I don't think, dude. I don't know if people are really shocked. Like
exactly, like
maybe guys that are people that just know Jake Paul and don't know fighting or anything. But like, bro, Jake Paul for the last 4 or 5 years maybe has probably been training hard as shit. Like
has the best trainers, has tons of has the money to get the best trainers. Like pretty much do anything, and especially with these fights, like he can like. There's been a lot of rumors about Jake like not being natural for these fights. And I think that could be true, as Jake is the one who's setting up the fights. He can create the rules. He can create like how the drug tests go. He doesn't even need to have drug tests. Like, so like, I think Jake is a smart guy who, and his team is just not going to put him into positions where has a chance of losing. So I agree with you. I think Jake knocks him out in maybe like the first 3 rounds or something. I was watching the highlights too, and because right when I heard the name and stuff, I'm like, oh shit, like Jake Paul may be fucked. Then I look at the highlights, I look at his last fight, and the dude is sloppy. He's
getting hit all over the place.
He's getting hit. He's the guys he's fought have like all of like none of them have like a winning record. Like I really think Jake Paul is gonna knock him out. We all know it's gonna happen.
I think so too.
Will I tune in? Yes, I will tune in as he is an interesting figure in the business.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, like we all know it's gonna happen. We all know it's gonna happen, and I think all props to Jake. I mean, if I was in that position, I would do the exact same thing, as he's been fighting only for 3 years, but. Just because when he wins this fight, he's still not a legit boxer. Not at all. He's probably at best an average boxer, which is not bad for boxing for 4 years.
No, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good.
If anybody thinks he's beating real like contenders in his weight class, not a chance. But the thing though that does, if Jake Paul wins this fight, he could start fighting guys like Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, and create some really exciting pay-per-views. So
I think he beats Diaz, but I think he would get smoked by Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I agree with you with that also.
Yeah.
I think if Jake Paul thought he was going to beat Anderson Silva, right after the Fury fight was canceled, he would have booked the Anderson Silva fight. He would have.
And I think Silva would take that, but like, bro, Silva just beat up Julio Chavez Jr. I think he finished.
Who fought Canelo and didn't get finished by Canelo.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Silva's a beast, and he's still really good with his hands. If anything, one of the reasons why he retired is because of his legs. Like he just kept injuring his lower half. But
Never had to
Yeah,
do it.
man, I'm excited to see it. I like watching Jake Paul fights,
I
but
like I like Jake Paul. You can't really you like first you dislike him and then you really just like it kind of like then he does like all like the like then it's like super interesting and you just like it's hard to really like truly hate him at this point. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? And he's an interesting guy. Like I mean, and I think that's what the boxing world needs, an interesting guy, as there's not that many pay-per-view like draws at this point. So
yeah,
yeah,
I'll definitely watch. And I think as we get closer to this fight, I think I'll definitely be interested and more interested as time gets as we get closer. Um, But I'm not gonna lie, man. Every time he fights an MMA fighter, bro, I'm gonna be rooting for the MMA guy. Cause I like Jake Paul, but like, bro, I don't like seeing him beat up on MMA guys because it
on
kind
these
of
legends too,
because
like
the average person's gonna look at that and be like, oh, he fucked up Nate Diaz. These UFC fighters don't know how to fight. Like, bro, that's why it pisses me off. Cause like I know that like even if he beats a Nate Diaz, I know he wouldn't fuck up Nate Diaz in like a real fight. Well, yeah, he probably wouldn't.
no.
Probably wouldn't. Because even though he is bigger, I feel like Diaz could still grapple.
Diaz has the jiu-jitsu, yeah, and the
But
kicks.
anyone who's his size or near his size in MMA, who's in the UFC would fuck him up.
Getting fucked up in the
real
first
MMA
20
fight,
seconds.
which
First
is why it
20
pisses me off, bro. But whatever. I
But
like Jake Paul. I want to see him fight boxers, and I want to see him fight like guys like Tommy Fury. Because, bro, if he fought Tommy
That's
Fury,
his age. That's his age. Similar like level of experience. I think that's a perfect fight. But I mean, Tommy Fury, I mean, seems to not really want to fight. So
yeah, I think originally I wanted Tommy Fury if he did fight Jake to knock him out, just because like I want to see like there's just something about certain guys where they're doing really well, but like I wanted to see him get knocked out by Woodley. I knew he was going to knock out Askren. I know there's no chance Askren will win, but now like because of all the bullshit that Fury's been up to and ducking him, like I want Jake Paul to beat him now, like because
for sure.
pulling out left and right. The other reason I wanted Fury to win is because he's Tyson Fury's brother, and it'd just be cool to get him a win,
Fury, yeah,
like that. But yeah, so let's also talk about this. So Charles Olivera doesn't want to fight in Abu Dhabi. He doesn't want to fight Islam. Abu Dhabi is Khabib, Islam. These dudes always want to fight in Abu Dhabi. They always want the home field advantage. But I don't blame Charles Olivera. I mean, dude, this guy, despite what anyone says, he's still the champion. He's still the undisputed champion with or without the belt. Everyone could admit that. Yeah, sure. He's he's basically defended his belt twice. And
against two very good fighters.
Yeah, no wonder he doesn't want to fight in Abu Dhabi. I mean, get him a fight in Brazil. We have 2 Brazilian champions. We just had 3. Get him a fight. We have him, Figueiredo. Get them both on a Brazilian card. I want to see Charles
becomes champ. Like,
yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like for me as a Charles Olivera fan, as someone who wants him to beat Islam because Islam is boring as a cardboard box. Not his fighting style. He doesn't have the most entertaining fighting style, but I mean like the guy himself, like he's like a cardboard box. Yeah. At least Khabib had like some personality to him, but like, yeah, dude, I want to see Charles fight in Brazil so he has that extra fire, to go out and take this guy out, in front of his home country.
Yes, I agree with you. I think they're kind of doing Charles dirty with that, and they've done him dirty with the championship belt thing. Because let's be honest, if Conor McGregor had the belt and that thing happened, Jon Jones had but Conor McGregor had the belt. He misses weight by 0.5 pounds. They're not stripping him the belt. No. They're not. So I think they already did Charles dirty, and he ended up winning the fight.
That happened to Adesanya. There's no way they would strip him.
Oh, Adesanya, Usman, no way. No. So I think that they're really doing him dirty, and I think the thing Charles said was that he thinks the Abu Dhabi refs will be unfair, and I think that's a possibility too. As we see, there's been and Abu Dhabi refs and judges can be unfair. As I think that could be that could be possible. As we see, there's been a lot of, and there has always been a lot of bad judgment, bad judging and stuff like that, like the Holloway Volk 2 fight, the Calvin Kattar fight. just those are just some of the examples. But so I don't blame Charles. The UFC should do one thing for him, and they haven't been in Brazil in some time. So
Yeah,
I think it's a perfect opportunity. It would sell pay-per-views.
Yeah, people would want to see that, man. I mean, yeah, the last time the UFC was in Brazil was I think 2019, bro. Long time ago. Wait, no, it was actually 2020.
Before COVID.
Before it was actually the first ever like COVID card before they did Fight Island or before they did one in the US. They had Charles Olivera was the main event with Kevin Lee. That was in Brazil. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I remember.
That was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah.
So,
That was still a very long time.
Yeah.
Let's get the UFC back to Brazil. I don't understand what the UFC has against Charles Olivera. He's selling the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like
and why do they want Islam? Like I understand that.
Why do they want is like he's not gonna bring in more attention. Like he doesn't have the personality like Khabib. He doesn't finish. I mean, he does finish people, but like he just
hardly like he finished Dan Hooker and he finished Bobby Green.
Big deal. You know, like I think I think Islam shouldn't even have the title. Shouldn't even get the title. So why don't they? If they're gonna do an Abu Dhabi card?
Yeah.
Why don't they have him fight Benny? Like,
first of all, I just want to say this. I think every champion should at least fight once in their home country. Like, exactly. I think Volk should fight in Australia.
I know there's COVID there, but still, yeah.
I want to see that. You know, it was cool how Whitaker and Izzy fought there as well. Whitaker has fought in Australia before. You have guys like Tom Aspinall fighting in their home country, but awesome. You know, the shitty thing is like Charles Oliveira, the UFC's gone to Brazil so much. There's such a big market down there because so many of the fighters, you know, so many people that compete in MMA and jiu-jitsu live in Brazil. But, you know, you have this dominant, you know, champion that's just destroying guys, finishing guys, and you're not even going to put him in Brazil. It's pathetic. I understand some guys like I would love to see Usman. I would love to see Ngannou. I would love to see Adesanya headline UFC Africa, but like
that would be awesome. Yeah.
Can't make it happen for whatever reason. But Brazil, bro, you got to make that shit happen. You've gone to Brazil a million times.
Like, do one thing for Charles Oliveira. That belt thing was absolutely ridiculous. Islam, like we were talking about last week, Islam should not be fighting for the belt. I know he's amazing.
He shouldn't be fighting for the belt.
You can't give a guy who's beaten two guys who were literally not top. I don't know what Hooker.
They were not. They first of all, I think that they weren't top 5 at all.
No,
none of them were
not top 5. I mean, Bobby Green was even top
washed.
10.
Dan Hooker's washed. After the Dustin Poirier fight, Dan Hooker was never the same. Never the same. Bobby Green is an amazing striker, but he's not top 10 material. He's not. He's a beast when it comes to striking. He almost beat FIziev, but when he's up against a guy who's a grappler, like he's just not going to do well. I can't put too much stake into a Bobby Green win when Bobby Green came in on that with like 8 days notice. Like, you know, so
exactly.
Break. I don't give
fight Dariush.
You trained with Khabib for your whole life. You're not getting the title shot,
especially in that division.
That's the only reason. If it was
a heavyweight, then yeah.
If Islam Makhachev was not related to Khabib in any way, you know, being close training partners and like almost like brothers, you know, that's how close they are as friends. But listen, no one else would get a title shot.
They wouldn't even be thought about getting a title shot. Look at
two more. They would have 2 more.
Look at Allen. He has 9 straight wins too, just like Islam. Like, and he doesn't have a title shot. Like, it's ridiculous. Let him fight Dariush. Like,
how is he even 4? How is Islam 4? That don't make sense. Doesn't make any sense in my opinion.
I don't understand what the UFC's obsession with Islam. He's not going to be another Khabib. Like, let's get.
I'm not going to say that. Like, he could be. But like, still, bro.
But like,
don't give him the fucking title shot yet.
Let him fight Dariush. That's a great matchup. I would obviously favor Islam, but like
Chandler don't want a piece of Islam. I think Chandler's fucking never said anything about Islam in his whole life. I'd love to see Islam. Listen, I'd love to see Islam fight anyone in the top 5 at this point. Anyone.
Gaethje, Chandler, any of those guys.
I mean, dude, even Gaethje, but like at the same time, I don't put too much stake in that because Gaethje, anytime he fights a grappler, I think he's fucked. But that's just my opinion. I think that's a nightmare for Gaethje. I want to see Islam fight anyone.
Benny's the fight. Benny's for sure the fight. I know Benny had an injury. Let him recover. I'm sure he'll be better by October for the Abu Dhabi fight. Have him put him on the card. Put Chimaev on the card.
Or Gamrot, bro. Gamrot or maybe Chandler. Like one of those three guys. I'd love to see Islam in there, even with Poirier, bro. I'd love to see that.
Anybody, just not Bobby.
Anybody but Gaethje, because Gaethje doesn't have. Gaethje's so bad on the ground. I want to see him fight someone who at least has some awareness on the ground.
Exactly.
You know?
And for my next point, as we're talking about the lightweight division, we were talking about the other night. Just go back to the last UFC fight night. What do you do with FIziev?
Oh man, that's a good question. So I think that the best matchup for FIziev is, I think, man, listen, I don't want to see him against Beneil. I don't want to see him against, well, I think honestly, I think Justin Gaethje is a great fight. I think that's the fight.
That would be fireworks.
I think that's the fight. Him and Justin Gaethje, both are phenomenal strikers. However, I favor FIziev in that fight. I think FIziev wins. I think he's more technical. He's got cleaner striking. And Justin Gaethje's just got dropped in his last fight. He's taken so much damage. I'd pick FIziev, but Justin Gaethje could make it close. So I think that's the fight for FIziev.
In my opinion, I think it's either that or the Michael Chandler, because the thing is about Gaethje, he's just coming off a loss against Olivera, so he's not close to a title. You back? Yeah. He's not close to a title fight. Not close. He's like 3 wins away from another title shot, especially with the way he lost. I think Michael Chandler just beat Tony Ferguson. I know Tony Ferguson isn't that impressive a win at this point, but it's still a win. Yeah. You have Chandler fight FIziev. Both are 2 wins away. Both at most are 2 wins away from a title shot. You have Chandler fight FIziev. The winner fights for the number one contender, fights the number one contender match. And then if they win, they fight for the title.
I disagree on the Chandler thing, just because I think Chandler's 1 win away. And that's just because of how entertaining he's been, how much the fans love him. The UFC is well aware of this because, they've been good to Chandler. They've treated him well. I think he's 1 away, man. I think FIziev is probably 2 away. If he could finish Chandler in like the first round, who knows? That could be 1. But like, I think Chandler's. I like either of those fights: FIziev Chandler or FIziev Gaethje. I want to see FIziev Gaethje, and I want to see Chandler Poirier, because listen, Poirier ain't gonna get a touchdown no matter who he fights.
They have real beef. Also, it's always better when fighters who have real beef fight. Like
I want to see that, and it would be a stand-up fight. I don't see Poirier taking down FIziev. This ain't Connor. Like he's not gonna take him down so easily. I listen. I want to see FIziev fight anyone in the top 5 who is Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, one of those guys.
Yes. Honestly, for me, any of those guys would be good. I would prefer the Chandler, but I just want to see new blood in the new blood fighting for titles in the lightweight division, whether it's Islam, Benny, or FIziev, any of those guys. Just someone new. I don't want to see a Poirier. I don't want to see a Gaethje. I mean, Chandler would be interesting, as all those fights are interesting, but just please not Poirier or Gaethje. Just like those guys, they've had 2 chances. Most fighters don't even get a chance. So
I agree. But here's the issue, Volkanovski, if Yair wins this next fight, I know that Volkanovski said he wants to go up and down, but if Volkanovski doesn't move up, then who is Olivera going to fight? And I mean, he might have to sit out, but who is he going to fight? Because none of these top guys, Chandler doesn't have a fight, Islam doesn't have a fight, Gaethje doesn't have a fight, Poirier doesn't have a fight, Beneil Dariush doesn't have a fight, Mateus Gamrot just came off of a win, Arman Tsarukyan just had a fight with Mateus Gamrot. Like, I mean, you're not going to give him those guys. So Islam Makhachev is I understand, I don't want to see him get a title shot, but it's either Volkanovski moves up or Charles Olivera sits out. Or, and even if Connor comes back, Charles Olivera is going to have to sit out till the winter. So it's weird, the lightweight division's in a weird place.
Yeah.
It's only when did it was May. They fought in May, so I guess that's not that long ago. It seems like a long time ago.
But still, you would definitely want to see Charles fight in the next like 3 months or so. But I think the thing is though, like imagine like
But
I think
the only guy that would be ready would because I don't think Volk. I think Volk's about to take a little bit of time off because of his hand.
Yeah. I think the thing is though, I think if the UFC is just so set on Islam fighting for the title at Abu Dhabi, like I know they're close with his agent and stuff, so I think that's probably why. Like if they're really set on it, I think Oliveira will just go there and fight him, just because like he's just a badass like that. And imagine if Charles goes to Abu Dhabi, finishes Islam. That would be real badass. Real badass. Don't even leave it up to the judges. Yeah. That would be real badass.
He's already my favorite fighter. He's already so I would love to see that. So quick question for you. Before we wrap this up. So I'm just wondering, who right now are your top 3 or 5 fighters, you know, in no order. For I'll give mine after.
That's the fighters I like the most, or like
just a combination of liking them based on their personalities and their skills. Just your top 5 favorite.
Top 5
fighters to watch. Let's say favorite fighters to watch.
Okay, to watch. Okay, like which guys do I look forward to the most?
To getting watch. In the cage.
Okay, that makes sense.
UFC.
Okay, no order whatsoever.
No order.
I'm gonna say Chimaev has to be on there. He's got to be. He's gonna be the next champ. He's self-explanatory. He says funny stuff. You know, his fighting style is amazing. He can grapple, he can strike, finish people in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So Chimaev's got to be on in there. I would say Charles Olivera, as he literally finishes every single opponent. His smooth striking, his jiu-jitsu, super smooth. Love Charles. I'm gonna have to say Conor. Conor still has to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's not the same as he used to be, but we're always looking forward to Conor McGregor fights. And he's not that old. He's not that old. Like if he can if he can get his shit together, you know, who knows? So Conor McGregor has to be on that list. I think I'm gonna say Volkanovski. Volkanovski's really like gotten me. I've become more and more of a Volkanovski fan as of his last 2 fights.
Dude, maybe even his last, because remember the Ortega fight was so entertaining as well.
Yeah, so his last 3 fights. I just really respect him. I respect how he fights so frequent. He's a badass. Never doesn't quit, as we saw in the Ortega fight. So Volk has to be on there. And I don't get why more people don't really like Volk. Don't really love him. Like,
I think it's really all tied into Holloway, bro. I think
everyone
for Holloway, people would mess with Volk more.
But and then 5. That 5 is look, the guy who I'm like looking forward to in their next fight would be Jon Jones. But is he one of my favorite fighters? Probably not.
Yeah, I agree.
That is trick.
I like the take, bro. I agree with that. Like Jon Jones, I'd rather watch his next fight versus like a lot of other people, but he's not top 5.
He's not one of my favorite. He's not one of my favorite fighters at all. But I just think the move to heavyweight is a very interesting move. So I'm gonna put Jon Jones there because I'm looking forward to one of his fights the most. Probably the fight I'm probably looking forward to. The dream fight I want the most and I would look forward to the most would be Stipe versus Jon Jones. So Jon Jones, out of any fight you can make, Stipe or Jon Jones or Charles versus Islam. So
I would say Stipe, Jon Jones more.
Yeah, one of those, or Jon Jones, Francis, one of those 2 fights. Just something with Jon Jones in heavyweight. How about you?
Yeah, okay. So in no order, dude, mine is really similar to yours. I'd say I would have to put Volk in there right now, just because of how skilled he is, how dominant he is. Petr Yan was in there, but I feel like he's disappointed me a little bit with his last loss to Aldo.
Yeah.
I would say Volk. I would say Charles. I would say Khamzat. Volk, Charles, Khamzat. I'm gonna go with Yuri because every single fight that I've watched has been. I mean, first of all, his first 2 fights in the UFC were extremely entertaining, but then the war he had with Glover was amazing. One of the best fights I've ever seen. So I'm gonna put Yuri in there as well. Volk, Charles, Yuri, Khamzat, and then if I had to go with the number 5, most excited fighter to see, I mean, like, here's the thing. I want to see Jon Jones like at heavyweight just because it's been
See what it's
teased
like.
so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'll still say I really like watching. Bro, I like watching O'Malley fight just because like there's so many questions with him and him moving up like
Good one.
the rankings. So I really like O'Malley as well.
Okay. Before we end it, I actually have two news that have just come out.
Yeah.
So apparently, Nate Diaz does have a fight.
Oh, Khamzat.
Nate, I don't know who it is. Nate Diaz has a fight. He's going on Ariel Helwani's show tomorrow. You guys
Wow.
probably have seen this already, but Nate Diaz has a fight. So if by this when this podcast comes out, Nate Diaz has a fight, and it's not if we're completely wrong on this, then whatever. But
Yeah.
who do you think the fight is?
I think it's gonna be Khamzat, bro, because you know they want to get rid of Nate Diaz. He only has one fight left, and Nate Diaz wants to box, so it's probably Khamzat or it's Connor. But that was the two options in my opinion.
I think that I really think the Connor fight is the fight to make. I look, Dana White is in the past for years has said the Connor Nate 3 is gonna always be an option.
Yeah. Connor's been training, bro. I see him boxing. I don't think Nate Diaz is gonna really try to grapple with him much.
No, I think I think it'll just be a lot like the second fight.
Yeah.
But and I think that I think that the UFC if Nate is clearly not going to not going to resign. So I think you make the Connor fight, and you make a ton of money out of Nate Diaz, and then you just because that would definitely be top 5 most bought pay-per-views ever, for sure. Nate Connor 3. The second one was top 5, maybe even top 3. So I think you do that, but at the same time, there's always the risk of what if he beats Connor? Like, what if he beats Connor? The UFC's top guy at that point would have lost 3 fights and have won one of his last 5.
Well, that's kind of how it is for Connor in every fight at this
yeah,
point. Because
but I mean,
anyone could beat him.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Or you put him against a guy like you said, Chimaev, who would absolutely smash him, but people would tune in because it's Nate Diaz and Chimaev.
Yeah.
So or you could put him with George Masvidal again. But I think that option that's probably not going to happen. I think it's more likely. I think it's probably Chimaev, as Chimaev hasn't been, I mean, besides the Pereira, like he hasn't been too loud on social media compared to like in the past. So I think that it's possible that they did set up like a deal already. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm excited. Nate Diaz, one last fight. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I'm hyped too. I'm very hyped.
Anything else? Anything else you want to bring up?
I think that's it, guys. Follow me on IG, lucast.fitness, and I will be updating a lot of you on my Lucas Tracy MMA, and maybe we'll play some clips for the next week's podcast if there's anything interesting I can get at UFC Long Island. But yeah, I hope that all of you guys have a good week.
Yeah. Before we end it, make sure you follow MMA.Dynasty on TikTok and Instagram. We'll be posting clips. We'll maybe even stream the fight this week. Lucas may stream it there. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll definitely do some short live stream in there.
For sure. So definitely follow the account. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We're not going anywhere. Each episode our goal is to keep getting it better and better. So yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a great week.
All right.